Hello and welcome to the Politickr Market Wrap. Time to take a look at the political stocks making headlines on Intrade for the first week of August. When word broke last night that Bill Clinton was headed to North Korea to try to secure the release of two U.S. journalists held there, political traders had to move fast. The stock, as to whether the two journalists would be released by the end of the year, had been trading in the mid-30s, which was an all-time low as of yesterday. However, when word broke that Clinton was on the way, as you can see here, the stock shot up to 65 by 7 a.m. on August 4th. So the advantage there clearly went to the early risers. And by the afternoon of August 4th, it was clear that the two journalists were released by North Korea, and the stock was trading well into the 90s, as you can see, and that stock will close at 100. Turning to political news much closer to home, the Wall Street Journal reported that the job of Gregory Craig, the White House counsel, could be in jeopardy. Craig has faced some criticism recently related to plans to close Gitmo, as well as the administration's decision to release national security documents from the Bush administration. And as a result, Intrade just launched a contract as to whether Gregory Craig will depart as White House counsel before the end of the year. And as you can see, no trades yet on that one. Before the August recess, the Senate will vote to confirm Sonia Sotomayor to the U.S. Supreme Court. The only question, of course, is by what margin. USA Today is reporting that Republican support for Sotomayor seems to be extremely minimal. John McCain announced this week that he would vote against her, and in doing so became the 28th Republican to say they'd vote no. As you can see on the vote contracts on Intrade, traders seem to think she'll receive something north of 65 votes and south of 70 votes. The contract on 70-plus votes last traded around 15. And as you can see from this graph, which shows that contract over the last 2 weeks, support for more than 70 votes seems to be eroding. However, if you think that she will eke out more than 70 votes, that could be a big payoff for you. Finally, a few Politickr picks, contracts to watch over the coming weeks. Political Wire reported that McDonald, the Republican candidate for governor in Virginia, has opened his largest lead yet over Democrat Deeds. It's a 14-point lead according to the latest public policy polling survey. And as you can see from the Intrade contract, the Democrat last traded at 40, the Republican at 65, which was up 5 points on the day. So if you think the poll is accurate, it may be a good time to get in on that early. The debate on cable news during the August recess, of course, will be all about health care reform. The government, the likelihood of a government-run health insurance plan, as you can see from the Intrade contract, last traded at 41.5, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to that during the course of the month-long debate. And lastly, the Daily News reported today on the likelihood of the Freedom Tower opening on time. A secret report predicts that the tower itself won't be finished until 17 years after the 9/11 attacks in 2018. The initial deadline was supposed to be in 2011, so if you're interested in investing in a very long-term contract, there could be money to be made there. The likelihood that the tower would open before the end of 2013 last traded at around 45, so there's certainly money to be made shorting that one, but of course money to be made in the very, very long term. And that'll do it for today's political prediction market wrap here at Politickr. Please follow us on Twitter at Politickr for your political prediction market updates, and check us out at our blog, politickr.blogspot.com.